Now, to hold a referendum or not, it's a hot topic of conversation when discussing the European Treaty, and it is one the UK Independence Party will be pushing for at their party conference, which starts today.
The UKIP leader Nigel Farage joins us now from Birmingham. Very good morning to Nigel Farage. Can you tell us first of all about, I understand you're going to propose a pact with the Conservative Party. What's the plan?
No, I'm not proposing a pact with anybody. All those headlines you're seeing in the newspapers are complete and utter rubbish. We are a party with a full manifesto. We're up in the polls. The speculation about a pact is coming from members of the Conservative Party who are saying we must do a deal with UKIP, and I'm making it absolutely clear that I would not do a deal under any circumstances unless the Conservative Party would have given, or the Labour Party for that matter, would have given absolute promise, written in blood, that they'd give us a full, free and fair referendum on our continued membership of the EU.
Well, that's interesting, isn't it? Because what that suggests is that there is a possibility of a pact if they would agree to those terms.
Well, it'll need a big change, because Mr Cameron has said on at least half a dozen occasions, I don't want there to be a referendum on EU membership. And I think what they're planning, with this new European treaty coming up, they're planning to give us a referendum that says, do you want to be part of a fully federal Europe, or stay in the Union, stay in the single market and the customs union as we are now? And what we're battling for as a party is to try and make sure that we get a proper referendum in this country.
Do you think you've got the Conservative Party worried?
I think we have, since the last general election, got the Conservative Party worried. I mean, a lot of people have come to us, some from Lib Dem, some from Labour, but the bulk that have come to us in the last 2 years have come from the Tories, and they look at David Cameron, and what they see is another brand of social democracy. They see a cabinet full of people with absolutely no experience of the real world at all, and I think people think, you know, we're being run by a bunch of college kids. They look at UKIP and they say, well, UKIP may not be perfect, but at least it's led and full of people who run businesses and got experience of life.
I just wonder, one of the problems you're facing as party leader you're trying to address is the notion a lot of people have is basically what you talk about all the time is Europe. And that possibly, in terms of, certainly in domestic general elections here, maybe that is a real problem that somehow you need to address.
Well, I think UKIP started off in the 1990s, and we were a protest movement about the European question, no doubt about that. But the party's evolved and it's changed, and you know, we're now out there every week fighting local council elections. We're talking about the blight that wind farms are. We're talking about the need to deregulate and help Britain's 4 million small businesses. We're talking about the unacceptability of open-door immigration to the whole of Eastern Europe. You know, there is a full manifesto there, and I think people are turning to UKIP not just because of the European issue. They're turning to UKIP because increasingly we're talking about how the country should be governed.
And I just wonder, I mean, in a way it's a slightly how long is a piece of string question, but how long before you are represented in Parliament, do you think?
Well, I wish I knew the answer to that. The sooner the better, of course, from my perspective. All I would say is that if you look at the local council results that we had last May and the by-elections that happen every week, you will see we're making real progress. Our poll ratings have more than trebled in the last 2 years. We haven't made that breakthrough in domestic politics yet, but we're getting very much closer.
Nigel Farage, we'll leave it there. Thank you very much for your time this morning.